Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into loneliness. Something most of us probably feel sometimes, but we don't often talk about it in a positive way.
Yeah, it definitely has a heavy feel to it, usually.
Right. So we're using a source called Breaking the Stigma of Loneliness to explore this. It pushes us to see loneliness not just as, a negative thing, but maybe a source of strength.
A pathway, even.
Exactly. So our goal here is to figure out how shifting our view on loneliness might help with personal growth, maybe even build stronger communities. It's about finding a more empowering take on it all.
And it starts with tackling that stigma, doesn't it? I mean, the source really points out how society tends to link being busy and super social with, well, with success,
Yeah.
with being worthwhile.
Totally. Like doing things alone or even just wanting quiet time can almost seem strange or like something's wrong.
There's a sort of pity sometimes. And that leads to this feeling, this shame. If you do feel lonely, you feel like you have to hide it.
Yeah, keep up appearances.
But this source offers a pretty radical reframe. What if loneliness isn't some kind of personal failing? What if it's just human?
Okay. So not a permanent problem, but maybe a messenger. Like it's telling you something.
Exactly. Or the source uses this metaphor of a doorway. Loneliness as a doorway to something else.
A doorway.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's on the other side? What's the positive potential there?
Well, that's where the personal growth aspect really comes in.
Yeah.
Experiencing loneliness, actually sitting with those uncomfortable feelings. It can deepen your emotional intelligence.
How so?
By navigating that discomfort, you can build more empathy. You start to understand your own feelings better and maybe understand others a bit more too.
Right, because you've kind of been there. It makes you more sensitive, perhaps.
And it also pushes you towards self-reflection. Solitude gives you that space. Yeah.
Space to ask the big questions.
Yeah, like, what am I actually missing here? What do I really want? Who even am I outside of all my relationships? That kind of deep dive into yourself.
Okay, so it's not just about distracting yourself, but about figuring out what truly matters to you. That sounds like it builds inner strength.
Definitely. Resilience is a big part of it. Learning to self-soothe, to keep going without needing constant validation from others, that builds a really solid foundation.
An unshakable kind of strength.
You got it. Knowing you can rely on yourself, that's powerful.
Now, here's something that might seem counterintuitive. The source links loneliness to creativity. How does that work?
Think about it. Being alone, that quiet space, it can be really fertile ground for introspection, for new ideas to kind of bubble up.
Right, less external noise.
Exactly. Gives your own thoughts, your own creative sparks a chance to be heard. Many artists and thinkers actually seek out solitude for that reason.
It's funny, though, because feeling lonely feels so isolating. Yet the source points out it's actually super common, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's the paradox. So many people feel it, but often think, it's just me.
So why don't we talk about it more? Is it just the stigma again?
Largely, yes. That shame keeps it hidden. We don't share it, so everyone feels alone in their loneliness. It becomes this silent burden.
Okay, so what can people listening actually do? How can we start changing this narrative? For ourselves, or even in our communities.
Well, the source suggests starting small, like how you talk to yourself about your alone time. Maybe not apologizing for it, seeing it as just a normal phase, not a failure.
Yeah, ditching that feeling that you have to perform connection all the time. Like you have to prove you're okay by being busy.
Exactly. Embracing those quieter seasons without judging yourself for it.
And for others, how do we support people?
Compassion seems key. Just being there for someone who might be lonely, maybe without jumping in to fix it. Just acknowledging their experience.
Listening.
Listening, yeah. Recognizing it's shared, it's human. That understanding itself starts to break down the stigma.
So the big takeaway here seems to be loneliness doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be an invitation, maybe?
An invitation for deeper self-knowledge, and maybe even, ironically, for more genuine connections down the line, both with yourself and with others.
So a final thought for everyone listening.
Maybe consider this.
Yeah.
How could actively reframing your own moments of solitude actually unlock strengths you didn't know you had? And thinking bigger, how could our communities change if we all viewed loneliness with a bit more understanding and compassion? It really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? Seeing potential even in the quiet.